I am back on the Lord of the Rings Online, having not played since the legendary servers launched almost 2 years ago now, so there's plenty of in-game changes to existing systems and features plus new additions that I want to share some opinions on, and we can share notes down in the comments. I'm Jeremy Adrian, welcome to the channel, now let's begin. With LOTRO having made majority of its questing free recently due to the pandemic, I took the plunge knowing I've got plenty of catching up to do with all the new content released over the last year or so, and whoa, I'm pretty surprised with some of the new changes and additions to the game. So let's talk about them, and the first major one being carry-alls, a new inventory item that doubles up as a crafting material storage bag, and goodness knows LOTRO has needed this for a very long time. Once in your inventory, simply open the bag, hit the gather button or set it to auto gather if you're out questing in the landscape and watch the magic happen. Look at all those mats disappear. Currently there are 3 versions available, small which can hold 10 items, medium with 25 and large with 50, and all items within stacks to 2000. Besides just clearing up inventory and bag space, you can also do your crafting with mats in the bag, which is awesome. And since it's account wide, you can toss it in shared storage and throw it around. Just don't send it via mail to your alts. I learned that the hard way, as the mail fee counts every item in the carry-all. So basically, for comparison, it's kind of like the crafting bag in the Elder Scrolls Online, except you don't have to pay a subscription fee to access it. It's a physical item and it does have limitations. It's also not a free item obviously and can be purchased with LOTRO points from the store, or you can get the large one which is included in the $130 version of the Minas Morgul expansion. And at present time, if you missed the news, LOTRO is giving out a limited time carry-all selection pack to VIP subs that allows us to pick a new type as well. This one for task items, housing decorations, musical instruments, and essences, which means we should expect to see more of these roll out in the LOTRO store soon. While I do like carry-alls very much, I only wished it was more customizable, like being able to sort by name, being able to resize the bag horizontally, and maybe even see larger storage sizes, because some crafting professions obviously need more than others, like cooks and farmers, but otherwise, it's a new feature that I'm happy to throw money at. Up next is the virtue system. I was aware that it was going to be revamped early last year as I cover MMO news here on the channel, but I had no idea what the scope or depth of the changes would be. So coming back to this was a bit of a shock. Every virtue now has its own XP bar that must be filled to rank it up, and you no longer earn virtue tiers from completing landscape deeds. If you need a refresher, virtues are slottable passive stats and deeds are zone, class, or race-specific objectives that you need to complete in order to get rewards, which previously were virtue ranks and LOTRO points alongside titles and whatnot. These days, completing deeds will grant you virtue XP instead of direct ranks, and on the panel you can now select which one you want to place in earning status, which is where the XP gets distributed to. Most of the stats on these virtues have also been reworked, some for the better, plus it's now easier to identify which virtues offer survivability or DPS stats at a glance, and there's even a new one called Wit as well. What's cool is that now you even get small passive bonuses from the virtues you haven't equipped. So it gives players, and especially min-maxers at the endgame, a reason to actually go out and farm the XP required to level everything up. So my first impressions were, okay, this just got a whole lot grindier, but now I'm kinda on the fence about it. On one hand, I love the flexibility the new virtue progression offers. I can just do any deed I want to level specific virtues I want. No more running through the barrows on all my alts to farm 5 million spiders for 2 ranks of zeal. On the other hand, what if I run out of deeds on a max level character? Where will my source of virtue XP come from? I've heard that featured instances will offer them and some festival quests too, but I'd like to see more ways to obtain them. If there are any LOTRO players currently watching, what are your thoughts on the virtue system currently? Is it better or is it worse? Let's also talk briefly about daily HOBBIT presents, one of LOTRO's most forgettable features before I stopped playing, because while you do get daily freebies, some of the things you get will just make you cringe and it hogs inventory space, unless of course it's mithril coins or Matham's armor. Well, not anymore. The gifting system has been given a facelift, and while its slot machine function remains, you can now clearly see the different tier rarities and what they offer, and most importantly of all, they do give you free virtue XP, which is useful for reasons we've already covered, and even if they are small in value, it's still pretty good because if you play every day, it all adds up. And then there's the STOUT-AXE Dwarves, a new playable race of dwarves that was introduced with the Minas Morgul expansion last year, and it can now be purchased separately on the LOTRO store. So naturally, I rolled one yesterday to check it out, and I absolutely love the new introduction story this race gets. And it's made more meaningful, of course, if you've completed 2017's Mordor expansion and the subsequent stories that explores these dwarves of the region in depth. Without giving it all away, you start in Mordor at a period when a very important character to the story is there, and it tells an important plot point too. And it's an adventure to escape to the Blue Mountains, where the game's original introduction for dwarves began. I had a lot of fun with it, and it ties nicely too for a starting narrative. As for the race itself, you can be male or female, and they do have more mellow but different battle cries, so instead of a drunken 𝑏aruch-𝒀𝒀𝒀𝒀💀, it's more of a 𝑏aruch-𝒀𝒀💀, which is cool. The next few features I categorize as the little things but necessary to talk about. Like if you've been away for 2 years or more, you'll really like the 64-bit client. You can select it from the launcher itself, and most of the annoying technical issues I used to have in LOTRO, like crashing to the desktop whenever I'm changing zones, or super slow loading times to breathe, they are now gone for me. Some UI elements have been tweaked too, and for one example, I like the new look instance finder. On the left side, you'll see the usual featured instance and the list of everything that you have access to. And on the right is a group finder post board, and you can either create your own pug posting or simply join another. I do like that, and what I'd really like to see is some form of customization, like adding notes if you will, which will allow me to say that this is a beginner-friendly run or bring your own food, etc., so players know what's up before hitting that join button. While handy, is it just me or do I still see that posting pugs in world chat is still the most used and more popular regardless of the instance finder? Moving on, LOTRO also has this new cosmetic thing called weapon auras, which is different from weapon cosmetics if I understand this right. Weapon auras, like the one I got from the Minas Morgul Ultimate Fan Bundle, puts a new type of weapon glow on you, and you can equip it as early as level 7. They also can be stored in the shared wardrobe. The confusing thing is there's only one weapon aura available right now, and there's only one way to get it. Are there more weapon auras coming soon? Because it's definitely something I like working for, as I'm a sucker for cosmetics, and I think introducing more ally weapon skins like auras would give things for players like me to chase. For those who spend plenty of time in their housing neighborhoods, there's the addition of a stable master now at the town center, which is fantastic for popping right back to where you were questing or to somewhere else if you aren't a hunter or warden. And I'm gonna wrap this up with a shout out to probably my favorite in-game LOTRO pet right now, the brand new 13th anniversary Oink Oink that shoots out fireworks every few seconds. It's fantastically annoying, and I promise to pull it out when I'm crafting in the crafting hall at Bree, and I hope you'll do the same too. And that's it for now, folks. If you've recently been back yourself, or you are a current LOTRO player with more tips or thoughts about the new systems to share, then you're more than welcome to do so in the comments section. As for my LOTRO questing adventures through the new content and new stories, well, I'm going to need some time with that. Stay tuned. Hit the like button for more on LOTRO and MMOs, and hey, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel and get notified whenever a new video is up. Once again, I'm Adrian, and I thank you for watching.